Okay, so we're on the seventh in this series of videos showing how this product suite, Interact AS, is being used by educators to remove communication barriers. And again, we're getting to the end here. And certainly not least, though, in terms of importance, is this ability to automatically document meetings. And so a classic example here is IEP meetings. And so I have yet to meet an educator that really enjoys doing the documentation process. It's necessary, but you know, by far, rather than spending time doing this documentation, staff members would rather spend time with the students. And so, again, kind of circling back to the very beginning, that's what this is all about: being able to better meet students' needs. So, what we're talking about here again is the ability to at least significantly help you with documenting meetings. So let's go ahead and jump into a demonstration. I'll skip some of the slides here. And what I've done here is loaded, I guess we're back to English-Spanish. And so let's say that you are in an IEP meeting and you want to document the results of that meeting, which is something you need to do. But now with this software, you can automatically generate a transcript of what's ever said. And so if I turn on the microphone, I can say something like, this past year, your child has shown a lot of progress.
Este año pasado que su niño ha mostrado mucho progreso.
And so when I say a sentence like that, it's automatically closed captioned, and you see the translation down here. In this particular setup, I also added the languages that are being spoken, in this case English to Spanish, and then the parent, guardian, student, whatever, is going to be able to respond in their native language, and you're going to hear that in English. And so I could be doing this even if language isn't a barrier. So for English to English, I just want to have a closed captioning of everything that's said in that particular IEP meeting. Now, I don't want to overstate the capability of the software in this situation. People are going to need to speak into a microphone for this to work. Now, it can be a wireless microphone, but it can't be a microphone that's just sitting in the center of the conference room table and expect that to pick up all the voices that are being spoken in that conference room setting. You're going to, in order for this to work, you're going to have to pass around a microphone, and it certainly can be a wireless microphone that's used all the time. But people are going to have to basically hold that microphone in their hands. I suppose you could have a stand sitting on the table, but it's going to have to be held near to their mouth. So again, I don't want to overstate that. The capability. And the reason for that is that if it's just parked in the center of the conference room table, as people are tapping their pencils or rocking their chairs back and forth, the microphone's going to have trouble figuring out what are words, what sounds are words versus all this other background noise. And another area where the software will not work is if multiple people are talking at the same instance. And that does happen a lot in a conference room setting. So you got to take turns. And again, if somebody's holding a microphone in their hand, then naturally you do start taking turns instead of talking over each other. And so again, this certainly is a tool to help with your documentation of those IEP meetings. Is it perfect? No, but it's certainly going to help you in that documentation and get that done much faster. Now, again, as I mentioned, we could also do this just pure English to English, which is where I started, where I didn't have a module loaded. And so now with this software, you're going to be able to voice in documents versus type them in. And so similar, very similar to Dragon Naturally Speaking, if you've used that. Actually, pretty much identical to that. And so again, most people can speak faster than they can type. And so with this software, you're able to do that and to generate those documents. And so again, the focus, getting back onto the student, the idea here is to simplify the process of generating your documentation and thereby enabling you to spend some more time with the student. So let's close off this one, and I'll wrap it up in the next video segment.